Hello, everyone. This is Luis Concepcion from Strategic Profit Line Trading with the plan of the week for trading week number 43. The contents of this video is going to be for educational purposes only and not providing any investment advice. Understand that this is not tailored to any one individual and you must understand your time horizon. Past performance does not guarantee future results or success, and all investments do involve risk, including the loss of all your principal. Following is what I'm going to be covering this week. As always, I'm going to go over the news. I'm going to conduct a quick market overview and analysis. As you can see, we have 746 companies reporting earnings weeks, so it's going to be a busy earnings weeks. And as always, I will cover the FANG stock. For Monday, you can see we have nothing affecting the US markets. For those of you who trade Forex, you can see that you have the British pound being affected after the market. For Tuesday, we have the euro and the Australian dollar being affected pre-market as well as the British pound. And at 6:45, we got the PMI report for the US. And the Australian dollar will be affected after market. For Wednesday, we got the euro being affected pre-market. Canadian dollar will be affected right after the market open. And the Canadian dollar will be affected in the morning. You can see that after the market on Wednesday, Federal Chair Powell will be speaking. For Thursday, nothing affecting the US market we got the advanced GDP for the US on Thursday morning. And for Friday, we have consumer sentiment being reported. That's going to do it for news for us for this week. The following is a depiction of all the earnings we have coming this week. And as you can see, most of our major companies will start reporting on Tuesday. So moving on to the charts and starting with the market overview, I'm going to start with the SPX, also known as the S&P 500. As you can see, as I stated last week, we will be coming up, closing our gap and most likely come back down, and that's exactly what happened. With that being said, this area is an area that was still holding for our demand. We got the 42.26 to 41.65 on the demand side, and looking at 44.40.80 to 44.66 on the supply side. Moving on to the Qs, or also known as our tech. This is the area that's still holding for us. Another one that's dropping and coming right back down into our area that's been holding. That area is 353.68 to 346.44 on the demand side. And for supply, we got the 369.24 to 372.55. Moving on to the RUT, or the IWM, which is our small caps, which is the weakest out of all the major indices. We got the 1647 to 1527 for demand. Understand that this is a monthly area. And on the supply side, we got 1822.98 to 1842.49. Last but not least, we have our diamonds, also known as the Dow. For demand, we're coming back into this area for 330.74 to 327.37. And on the supply side, we got 334.27 to 347.68. That's going to do it for us for the major indices. Now, moving on to our earnings for the week. The first company I'm going to start with reporting on Tuesday morning before the open is going to be Coca-Cola. For the demand, I got 51.58 to 48.99. As you can see, we just previously just touched this area and took off. And for supply, we got 54.69 to 55.31. The next company I'm going to cover is going to be Verizon. For Verizon and demand, I got 30.46 to 29 even. We came into this area, already worked once, and if Verizon's gonna have earnings just like T did, we should have positive earnings. And on supply, we got 34.70 to 35.26. Next company I'm covering is gonna be 3M. So we are currently in this area, and this is a monthly area for 3M. So we got 95.24 to 81.99, and as you can see on Friday, we closed at 86.55. Next company I'm covering is Spotify. So for demand, I have 138.95 to 129.47, and on the supply side, I got 171.47 to 182. Moving on to Wednesday, the first company we have reporting before the market, we have Boeing. So as you can see, Boeing closed into our area on Friday, and I have the 128.78 to 168.88. Microsoft. Microsoft is 299.37 to 292.42 on the demand side, and on supply side, I got 357.21 to 362.87. Google will always also be reporting this week. So for Google, I got the 122.83 to 118.54 on the demand side, and 141.66 to 145.15. Visa reporting this week as well. As you can see, this area has worked once, twice, three times, and for Visa, I got the 229.57 to 225.06 for your demand. And as you can see, this area is the area that's holding Visa. We got 246.03 to 252.91. ADP is the next company that I'm covering. For the demand, I got 228.98 to 223.93. If we happen to have an overshoot, just understand there's another zone right underneath it, which is 221.85 to 215.97. Next company I'm covering is going to be Meta. These are the same zones that I've had for the last month. They have not changed. So on the demand side, we got 275.79 to 268.64. And on the supply side, we got 321.74 to 345.08. And that's what's been holding up Meta. This company I'm covering is UPS. So for UPS, on the demand side, we got 146 to 139.93 for demand, and on the supply side, we got 166.37 to 173.35. Next company I'm covering is MO. So this is the zone we've been utilizing, and you see it's worked already. So if we come back down here to demand, we got 41.69 to 40.35 on the demand side, and on the supply side, you can see we got 44.59 to 45 even roughly, but you can include this second zone on top of it, the 45.51, just because it's only $1 risk. Northrop Grumman is the next company I'm going to cover. As you can see, this is the area that I provided last week, and it's holding and working. Some of us took this trade and already out for profits. So that area is going to be 493 to 502.64 on the supply side, and we got 425.10 to 413.89. Amazon is also reporting this week. So for Amazon, I got the 107.37 to 95.79 on the demand side, and on the supply side, I got 149.64 to 158.86. That's gonna do it for me on all the earnings companies that I have for you. Next, I'm gonna cover the FANGs. I already covered Facebook, aka Meta, so let me cover Apple for you. So Apple, on the demand side, we got 167.09 to 159.73, and on the supply side, we got 190.53 to 192.50. Netflix was a big winner for us last week. This is on earnings. This was the area that I covered last week. 345 to 329. If you took this in stocks or options, you should be out of this trade, and it was a very profitable trade. On the supply side, the next thing I'm looking at is 433.85 to 453.66. Everything else was covered when it comes to the market overview and the major indices, all the earnings that I'm projecting for this week, and our FANG stock. So here's our contact information. For those of you who are not following me yet, please follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn for continued trades throughout the week. Email me if you want to learn more about our company or if you want to see more ticker trades. And don't forget to hit the subscribe or like button. Till next time, happy trading.